Hey there everyone, today we are gonna talk about what is Polar. Let's get started because this is gonna be really fun. Polar is actually the Finland company that's the only one that made the heart rate sensor industries, and they were the one that did the straps in 1980. And they did actually advance and evolve lots of times. Now, what we're gonna talk about is the all-9 device system, how it works, and how the app works. Let's start. All-9. Let's see what it has inside. A printed circuit board, 2 integrated chips, at least 9 resistors, and 7 capacitors, at least the minimum. The IC chips. The small one is the one that decodes from the electrode systems and the electrode sensors. The big one is the one that is the processor and will give the data to the Bluetooth antenna area and to the circuit chip to the Bluetooth antenna. Now, in the backside is 2 electrode sensors and a battery. The battery placeholder is attached with the printed circuit boards, but the electrode sensors are attached from the wires. The electrode systems are very important, and even if it's in a chest strap, it still can detect the sense. Now, here's what I do know. You need to wear this tight. There's a reason why, and I know it might feel weird, but you need to wear this tight because that's how the sensors are going to be able to sense the movement and pulse. So, those sensors that I'm talking about are electrodes, and they are required to touch the skin mandatorily correctly and tight. For heart rate sensors like this, so the reason why it needs to be tight is that it needs to detect how many pulses it did and how many beats per minute it's doing. And it needs to be in the correct location that's in the chest. If it's somewhere else, it's not gonna likely work and it's gonna fail. If it's also on the arm, it counts as well. So just remember, it has to be tight for the sensors to work properly. Those sensors are sensitive and they can detect by little movement of the chest, movement from the heart, or it gets it from a certain source inside of it that it's a bio thing. Well, whatever it is, one of them is true. Now for the app. Get the app that's 115 megabytes or 117 megabytes. They are the one that's public use, full access features, and high graphics. The ones that you buy that's 31 megabytes or 55 megabytes are not, and they might have bugs encounters. But they are great for personal use, and there's 8 of them because some of them are different language in regions. I do know that all the apps is supposed to show a list of the names of the person, a heart rate monitor, like the ones that it shows the pulse and draws a certain line, and a timeline for how long have you been doing exercise, and a beats per minute number. Every 1 second it would change beats per minute, like 110, 106, and 95, and whatever the number count it is. That's what I do know for all apps what Polar made. You might be wondering why there is no screen and no speaker. No screen because it bleeds through the shirt and the battery cannot hold that much power. No speaker is because of the beeping and embarrassment, distractions, and making the person worried if the machine or the device is not working, which is not very nice. So that's why no speakers and no screen. That's a good choice. The languages that was used for the app and for the printed circuit board. Printed circuit board uses C statements, and the app uses HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, Kotlin, Rust, and Swift, which is for iOS, and C statements if it needs to use for Bluetooth, which it probably does not, because it does not need to be the same language, just as long if they share the same data correctly. JSON, XML or a text format. Those sensors in the back, the electrodes, matter because that's actually how it's able to read the pulse and sensitive detectments. Now, it might have a little sensor, even if it doesn't have a microphone, but it does have a sensor that if it can see the thump or it can see the pulse or hear it, it can obviously count for the electrodes to get it. Here's an example of a C++ code with the ECG electrode sensor detections, and remember, that's just a simple code. It will need more than that if you want to program something that large like they did. For iOS Apple Watch, the one that's 50 megabytes, they have good features, but mostly it's large because of the packaging for Apple Watch iOS, and they have some good features, but not all of them like the 100 megabyte file apps do, and probably it's because Apple Watch probably already has some of the features that the iPad or any other devices don't. So that's probably why it's not as large, but it's still good enough to be in the medium. Mostly, if you were gonna make a game or a multiplayer web game or an app, it's probably gonna be more than 80 megabytes, at least the minimum of 75 megabytes due to the packaging and cloud WebSockets requirements or connection requirements. So that's just for information, and as a fact, that's usually how big it is mostly a lot of times. Now those things are $104. You might think that's a lot, but that's because it uses ECG electrodes. Those sensors are very powerful, and anything that detects biology results, bio detections, they're gonna be worth a lot of money. I'm serious. Anything that will detect or scan any biology things are gonna be very expensive and valuable because they are very accurate with that. So, I hope you like the video and think it's very inspiring, and if you really like it, press the like button, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye!